extra time at the football.
Oh, I know, like badly. Yeah.
I get an echo again.
Okay, here I am, everybody. Sorry for lateness, but I'm here, and that's the main thing. And I just literally drove in the driveway. Hi, everyone. Thanks for being patient. It's just hit the hour anyway, so that's technically the official time the show starts. So I really do appreciate you guys waiting around. Now, just let me know if you can hear my voice. According to everything, it should be working. You can hear me, can't you, Andy? Darren's here. Beautiful. Sorry, Darren, for holding you up there, buddy. Now, I've just got to get the other guest sorted. So let me just do that.
Oh, bloody camera. I can't remember. I don't know if it's done it made a difference or not.
Okay, let me just get his details here. Okay, so the second one is. Sorry, guys. It's I've got to be doing the setup when I'm supposed to be doing the show. I know that kind of is unprofessional, but these are the breaks. These are the breaks. Now, where is he in my list of cool people? There he is. Okay. Okay. That should get him in, and I just need to change his title to Okay, we should be getting him any second now. If all is well. If all is well, he says with trepidation. All right, so they should appear below. If everything's good, give him a second to set up. Right, chatties, hello everybody. Whew. Okay, it was worth going to the footy. We won, so it was a very close game in the end. For those who are wondering what game it was a Australian Football League game, or AFL, and the teams that were playing were Fremantle versus Sydney, and Sydney lost. There we go, got some lights now. Hey. Okay, whew, I'm all sweaty and frazzled. Frazzle-dazzled. Okay. I do have some stuff ready for the show, but I have to actually get it all pasted in and everything. So what we'll do is we'll just kind of wait for Andrew to pop in. Yeah, it should do. Oh. Oops. Okay, gave him the wrong link. Okay, cool. Right. Who have we got in chat? Let's have a look at the chatties. I gotta get the chatties set up actually. Otherwise they'll be throwing their synths at the screen. They probably already have thrown their synths at the screen already. There he is. Hey.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everyone can throw their synths at the screen to discuss today.
Hi, Andrew.
Hey,
now,
how you going on?
Rons, can I ask?
Oh, you're loud.
Let
me just sort you out. Hang on. It's not your end, it's my end. Yeah, you can ask away. Go for it.
Well, I was loud, was I? Sorry.
No, it's my end. It's fine. You
all right, okay.
You don't need to change anything. Yeah.
I was just looking in the Facebook chat. I was wondering were you planning to have Mark Barnes on today?
No.
Right.
Was I? I don't think I've ever spoken to Mark to come on.
No, all right, okay. I'm getting confused.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm getting my names mixed up. It's all right.
No, Andrew is the guy that was planning to come on today, and he's already here.
Who's that?
The guy next to you.
Yes,
So
we've met before. Hi, Andrew.
Yeah.
That way.
Yeah, that way. The opposite. Yeah, what your brain doesn't think is. So to make it easier for you guys, I'm going to call Andrew Brooks Andy, and I'll call Andrew me Andrew, and I'll just call Darren.
Anything you like.
Well, we're going to call him something soon because we know something about Darren, and he probably knows now what we know. He's probably just realised. And he's probably thinking to himself, God, how does he know? How does he know what we know about him?
Everybody knows, I think.
The whole of the internet now knows anyway. Well, the 20, 30 odd people on this channel anyway. It's such a popular channel. Probably because I don't turn up on time. Anyway, the guests are quiet? No, they're not. Okay, let's all do a mic test. Andrew, you can start with your mic test.
Yes, can you hear me clearly? I hope so.
It sounds okay here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Andy, I just turned you down, so you should be okay. Do you want to just check again?
Right, so, yes, hello everybody. It's good to be here.
Yep, you're good.
How is everyone?
And Darren, we'll try you.
1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I reckon
Hello,
they're
Andrew.
all. I reckon they're
Hello,
all. Eddie, what are you doing? No, they all sound pretty good to me. Okay, so yes, I did make it. So let's say get out of the chatties now. I've got the chatties going because they were the ones that were patient. Let's see who was first. Actually, no, I won't be able to find out who was first because I came in late. Okay, according to me, Sasquatch was first, and I don't think that's true. But we'll give it to him anyway because he deserves it. Mac was then next. Big hello to you. Then we've got a couple of the people that you've seen on your screen popping in, and then we've got Martin Taylor, JX3D, JP Page 2. Big hello. Sonic Link Stuff was next. Wagoo's there. Big hello to you, mate. Future World Machines. And then we've got what else? Scrolling. Foxy Nirvana's there. Hello, Foxy. Sensien's there. Atto Z. Big hello. And we're getting close to the end. Inky's there. Big hello to Inky. Lisa. Sergio's there. Haven't seen Sergio for a little while, so it's good to see you back, mate. Scrolling. I know that I read names sometimes twice. Synth Addict. He's woken up early for us.
Yeah.
and I was late. big thanks to Synth Addict for waking up early to watch the show. D Best is there. Your mate there, Andy's there. So it's good to see him.
Yeah. Hi, Dave.
And as we mentioned before,
Synthetics.
Eddie's there. Yeah. Mike Delik's there. And I said, I don't know if you heard, but I said before to big hello to Eddie, Eduardo. Been chatting to him a fair bit in the Discord. We'll talk about Discord in a little bit. John Shea and AZO Head and I think that is probably about... Oh, there's your name here, just popped in just at the last second. See, that always happens, doesn't it? It always happens. Right. Okay, now I haven't prepared for this show today. So what we'll do is we'll probably do some segments asked about, I think, because that's probably going to be the easiest way to go. The first one I want to do is I want to probably do the scammers segment. Now, before I do that, I need to copy some files across to these. Where's the folder gone? It's already there. Okay, cool. Cool. Right, so we just change this file over here, and you guys can't see what I'm doing, but I'm just filling in the noise with useless gabble whilst I click on things to make it look like I'm professional. Okay, cool. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna roll the stinger for the scammers section. Did you want to do something, Darren? Are you trying to insert yourself?
Hey. No. I was just saying. Hope we've all had a good week, and we're doing well, Andy. Our track's doing well.
Oh, I'll get to you guys. Don't worry. I need to get to you guys in a minute, but let me just roll this first because I need to set some stuff up while I'm doing it. All right, go. Like I said, ask about this week. And we have some user submissions this week for our scammers section. We do, and this is what I like. I like it when users send stuff in because it means that I don't have to do any work. I can just sit on my fat ass and do nothing. Winning. Speaking of winning, this one, you actually might think this is actually pretty good. What do you reckon? So who sent this in? This is from Corrosive Abuser, who may or may not be in the chat room. So big thanks for Corrosive Abuser. So a superb boxed Roland WS1 right switch for the CR78 drum machine, which is very rare apparently. Now, I'm guessing this is not the actual WS1. This is just the right switch. Sorry, not the what am I saying? This is the WS1, but this is not the CR78. This is what I'm trying to say here. This is just a little sort of right switch that you buy for it. And for a cool £1,195, it can be yours. Yeah.
Do you reckon that's just a potentiometer and 2 switches?
I'd say pretty much. Yeah. And a bit of metal.
I think the other thing's a switch, Andrew. Yeah.
Now, speaking of other, I just got an email while I was at the footy from Off-World Networks, who we do see sometimes on the stream. And I'm just going to grab it. He sent me one in as well. I think this is actually worth, this is what I mean by last minute show stuff, right? I think it's worth doing this last minute show stuff. Why? Because we can. And while you guys are oogling over hitting that buy now button on the WS1, because we all want a right switch, I'm slowly putting in this next one for you guys to look at. That's what happens when you go to the footy, when you have a show. Anyway, next. There it is. From Off-World Network. I didn't even check his attachment. I could have had porn on there for all I know. But who wants a TR-808?
Wow.
£6,000, all yours. Pretty decent price on the postage, I must say. £20 for the postage. They'll probably just put one sheet of bubble wrap on that, and yeah, £6,000 is all yours for a 808. I think this stuff's getting a bit silly. This is not a scam.
All the way.
Absolutely.
Well, some people would probably say it's a scam. I'd say this is just people taking the P155. What is that? About 11,000 Aussie. About 7,000 or 8,000 US, something like that. That's a lot of money, isn't it? A lot of Modular bars. Yeah. So big.
All the way from Eastbourne.
Big thank you to the 2 people who did my work for me this week. Off-World Network was the second one, and Corrosive Abuser was the first. Awesome. You guys are brilliant, and that's why we got the scammers stuff in first. So yeah. What did you guys think of the scammer section being up first? It's a bit weird. It's like, what are you doing? My OCD is going crazy.
Back to front.
I'm not prepared.
I must admit, I was enjoying
That's the
bit where it
truth,
said
Darren. That's the real truth.
£283 per month for 24 months. Do you reckon it's actually worth that much? Like, as in, for £280 a month, you could get some really good gear. I just don't see. For 2 years, you can have 2 years
You
worth
need
of
to
gear.
take some really good gear to pay that.
You could, every couple of months, you could buy a brand new NPC.
Yeah, that's right. Every 4 months or whatever.
You just be throwing your
It's silly.
NPCs in the bin every couple of months, just going, I need another one, over the back of the shoulder. Let's get another one. But you know, but as I say, Andrew, as I say, each time you get an 808 like that, you're obviously going to rock up in your Lambo and pick it up, aren't you? So you're one of those sort of guys, you know.
Could you afford a Lambo after too many 808s at that price?
They can afford everything, mate. They can afford NPCs every week. All right, speaking of cool guys, let's say hello to everyone that's here. We'll start with Andrew Brooks, who's, we call him Andy on the show, He's keeping the chat room together whilst I was late. Big hello to you, mate. How's your week been?
Yeah, hiya. My week's just been a week at work. I've done absolutely nothing in here except I've kicked Cubase into touch because I got really annoyed at not being able to get anywhere with Steinberg and a key to open the bloody thing. And I downloaded Cakewalk onto my computer just to see what that looked like. And straight away, it was immediately so much simpler to get it set up. So I'm going to give that some
old
love
Cakewalk.
over the next week or so. Well, yeah, I mean, it's free. Seems to do everything I need it to do. It'll run plugins. So I'm going to do some stuff with that just to see what happens.
And that's run by a company called BandLabs or something. BandLabs or BandLabs or something, isn't it now?
Yeah, it's Cakewalk by BandLabs.
Yeah. It's good to see that still going though. Anything come in? Any modules or anything come in? I thought you were waiting on a module or something.
Well, no. I was waiting until payday, which was yesterday, and now I'm sort of hovering over the buy switch. But at the moment, yeah, I'll just I can't make my mind up what to do at the moment. So, as I haven't actually switched anything on, until last night, I've had a whole week of actually.
Don't buy straight away.
Oh, bugger it.
Exactly.
You only live once.
Yeah. Thanks, Darren. Thanks for the guidance. Yeah, true. Well,
Darren's been very sensible today, isn't he? Don't you think? I think it's wrong.
It's always sensible. Always sensible.
He's been too sensible. Too sensible. All right. Well, speaking of Darren, why don't we go over to him and say big hello to you? Now, Darren, I'm not going to say anything right now, but there might be a bit of a surprise coming a bit later on, so we won't mention what that's for. But hello anyway. How's your week been?
Yeah, well, week's been it's been okay. It's been quite a wet week actually, but on the music front, me and Andy are working on a track for tomorrow, so we're doing quite well on that.
Oh, beautiful.
We?
Sorry.
Andy seems perplexed.
Another House and Brooks track.
I'm actually looking at his face now, Darren. You can't see his face, but I'm seeing his face, and it's literally a look of panic and dismay right now. In fact, let's just there it is. There. No, he's changed his.
Well, it's another House and Brooks production. So if you don't mind, Dad, I think we'll keep going every so often and build up like a small album over it.
Darren, what have you done?
If you remember, was it? Well, last week you were playing something because you got your. Can you hear that?
Yeah.
Think about that is when Andy hit the mic. If you remember last week. Although I can't hear it, but that was when you hit the mic.
Oh no! What I'm hearing is a keyboard going click, click, click. So I'm guessing that's not you.
Ah no! Why are you not getting that then? Go on, about. No,
I mean I know. Anyway, I know stuff, but I don't know everything, mate. Come on.
Do you mean, Darren, you sampled me hitting the mic and you've put that in, and you're going to give me a credit?
I know stuff, but I don't know everything, mate. Come on.
Do you mean, Darren, you sampled me hitting the mic and you've put that in?
That was you hitting the mic.
I know stuff. Now we can hear ourselves 100,000 times over.
Do you mean, Darren, you sampled me?
Yeah, exactly. It's coming back. But anyway, that was you hitting the mic, and then if you remember, you were playing some arpeggiated stuff.
Yeah.
Take that off.
Have you nicked the arpeggiated stuff?
You get the copyright strike for that. I know.
Well, no, that's why it's part of our track, isn't it?
Andrew, it was improvised. Well, yeah, okay, you're more than welcome, Darren. That's fair enough. Thank you for the credit. God.
Well, it doesn't matter anyway, because you might not recognise it anyway, because I've
probably not
basically taken bits from
mangled it to death.
But yeah, so that's no. It's that's the House and Brooks track for tomorrow, which I'm hoping to finish.
You're too kind giving me a credit for that, Darren.
Well, so I do need to disappear for a couple of minutes at some stage during the show. So I'll hand over to one of you guys to talk about some stuff. So I'm putting that forewarning here right now because I do need to go and grab something. But what we could do is I do have a couple of couple of users who have sent through some funny stuff during the week, and I thought, yeah, why don't we have a look at those? So, but before we do that, we should probably say hello to Andrew Mee, who's joined us. It's been a little while since we've had Andrew on the show, and it's pretty late over in his neck of the woods. Big hello to you. How's your, how many months it's been since we last seen you guys?
I know, it has been a very long time. It's really good to be back, actually. Yeah, so studio's getting a bit more set up, which is good, and I've been purchasing bits and pieces over that way. I finally picked up a Hydra synth. I'm very, very happy with that, and I'm learning that at the moment.
Lots of cool things there.
Yeah. And then I finally picked up a gigantic desk for myself, which I'm very, very happy about. I've just been playing with lots of little bits and pieces, actually. Just lots of equipment. Been working really hard, doing lots of the MIDI stuff at the moment. And in fact, after this, so it's going to be a very long night for me. I'm up all night. I've got a MIDI 2 developers session happening. The MIDI Association's running that after this. So this is, I think this is going to be up for 24 hours. So I'll be really nice and awake for that. And I'm sure by about 5 a.m. I'm not going to be very intelligible.
I'd say your Sunday's pretty much gone.
Yeah, although I'll probably do something silly like get up and go to the markets or something, because that's part of my weekly OCD of going up and going to the markets. So yeah, that's been what's been going on, actually, but it's been good fun.
Fair enough. Beautiful. Well, it's really good to have you anyway. And I mean, this particular show isn't really picking on anything sort of MIDI stuff, so I know that's one of your little corner of loves in the world. But anyway, it doesn't matter. It's going to be synth geeky nerdy anyway. So that's your other love. So yeah. That's now, right. What we'll do next is we'll run the stinger for the funny side, and we'll have a look at some of these memes that have been sent in. So let's do that. And as they say, you have reached the end of the internet where these things called memes occur, and stranger things can happen, I guess, probably if you don't watch the show. But anyway, we'll start off with this one. Now, I've had this one sitting in my folder for a little while. It was sent in, can't remember who. I think it might have been JX3D, actually. Do you remember those wonderful times? I was actually thinking about this. This is not really like a comedy sort of meme, but it just really sort of struck a nerve with me. I wish I still had a Walkman, because I reckon I'd use it. And I just thought to myself, how he's putting it in there and he's playing it, and then he's folding out the cassette in a sleeve and having a bit of a read. And do you know what I mean? Like that, those times are gone. And I just thought that was just a nice little thing. Now, I can't remember if that was actually put in like one of the synth forums, but I'm pretty sure it was actually just someone who randomly posted it on Facebook, and it's just like one of those usual family sort of things that you see. But I thought it was good. Second one we saw came in. This was definitely JX3D's. I'll let you guys read that. What's that shadowy place over there? That shadowy place over there. Yeah. I thought it was good.
You've got one. Darren's got one. I've now got one. Andrew, have you got one?
No, I'm avoiding the shadowing place.
He hasn't. No. Yeah, there was a few more that came in. I think I might leave them for next week. I don't know. I think that some of them are a bit cheesy. Yeah, I'll leave them for next week.
Cheesy's good.
Yeah.
All right, I'll do one more. Okay, bugger it. I'll do one more. I'll do this one. Just give me a sec. I can't actually remember if I've done it or not. Did it work? No, it didn't work. I just... Wait. Wait a minute. Wait a cotton pitten. There we go, it's working now. All right, cool. Number 3. Let's go back here, and let's go to number 3. Did I show you that one before?
Don't judge.
outlet on the laundry side is live. So basically, if what you're looking at is a PowerPoint that is connected to another PowerPoint to provide power to another room that doesn't have a proper electrical connection in it. And if you disconnect it, you've got to disconnect. Read the thing. You've got to disconnect the laundry side first. Now, what I'm wondering is, has anyone powered their studio like this?
Hopefully not.
Joking.
That's a brilliant. Oh my goodness.
I did have a night where I was doing live sound once, and I don't know how they hired all the equipment, but they actually hadn't. They hadn't got all the bits of equipment that they needed, and we actually got like 240-volt power cable, and we chopped it up in the venue, and we were wiring it in and actually sliding the actual bare copper up the sort of the speaker cable connection, which was like the XLR connection, because that was the only way we could actually get sound going. So I have done that with audio, and then we sticky taped it. So I actually got stuck. With a nickname out of that for years by a particular band that I put on, because they were like, "Oh well," yeah. So that was dodgy things you do when you're just trying to get sound going.
What were they?
But not.
They'll have called.
What was the band called?
They'll have called you the Gaffer.
Well, the band was called Tycho Bray, but that was many years ago. This has been my younger days.
And their debut album was called Cellophane.
It was actually something close, if I remember correctly, but not that. They were like a Depeche Mode New Ordery kind of sound, I guess. They're still going, I think.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Really kind of cool.
Yeah.
Oh, well, they were good. Very good.
Nothing wrong with a bit of bit of DM and a bit of NO.
Yeah.
Beautiful. All right. Okay. So, what else did we get done during the week? News-wise, I thought there was something interesting that came in news-wise. Just let me get this up for you guys. If the stupid website decides to load. I haven't been very good this week. I've actually not really been watching any of the shows or anything really. And I've now lost that thing.
It's always good to take time out and not look at things.
I don't know if it's
a surprise.
I don't know if it's been good in the sense that it's been good for the show. It's been detrimental for the show, but in terms of for me, it's definitely been good. Where the hell's it gone?
I did see Rand. You got a mention on the bad music gear.
Yeah, we've got
What's
to say
bad
about
music
that.
gear?
Florian Pilz's show. He was doing the thing about the MT32.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and you got a mention for helping you with the Sysex.
Oh, yeah. That's right. Yeah, I was helping him out on. I think that was last week, actually, not this week. Last week. Yeah.
It went up yesterday, I think, but it was definitely there.
Okay.
Ooh, Ramsey's got a credit. Ooh.
Yeah.
I don't know how much to be honest, I don't know how much I helped him. He was. It was kind of. Basically, it was just trying to understand how to form the Sysex string itself, and I don't know if he actually got there or not in the end because he actually didn't tell me. But I just opened up the manual and read through the MIDI implementation and tried to form some. And it's hard for me to do that because I actually don't have one to test it on. So all I can do is just sort of look at what the manual says and cross your fingers. And sometimes the manuals don't tell you exactly the correct way. Like, for example, you might have a Sysex string where the device ID might be a group of 3 byte pairs, and sometimes you only have to use one of them, and it will let you truncate off the other empty zeros, and it will work. But in some MIDI devices, you have to do it properly. It has to be the right length and it has to have the right number of characters, otherwise it completely doesn't work. So I don't know if he ran into those problems or not, because the synth that he was using is kind of like a Rompler that kind of based a little bit on the D50, if I remember rightly. So it had partials and it had all that sort of kind of weird stuff in it. So you couldn't, like for example, you couldn't use the sysx code to globally change the sound of the synth because it had all multiple parts in it. So you had to specify with sysx what part you were talking to, and it started that starts to get quite complex because you're using all these different lookup tables and stuff. So I felt for the guy, honestly, I really did. And yeah, well, obviously I didn't watch the show, so did it work, or I don't know what
Must
he was
have.
doing.
He seemed impressed. At least at the the 5-10 second snippet that came up. So it was
Okay,
good.
cool. I can't find that thing on the news that I was looking at, and I'm really, really peeved because I was going, that's going to be cool to show on the show, and I can't find it. Sometimes, I don't know if you guys have seen this, sometimes you look at some of those news sites, the common ones that we talk about, like Synth Anatomy. I'm not saying this is Synth Anatomy at all, I'm just saying this is an example, right? And they put stuff up, and then maybe it's a supplier or a manufacturer says, no, we're not ready for you guys to talk about this yet, take it down. And they have to take it down. So you see it come through on your feed, and then the next day you look it up again and it's disappeared. So yeah. But there was kind of one interesting thing, I guess, that I saw, and I don't really know if this is kind of an official thing. It was that MDLR 37 thing. Now let me just grab a copy of the picture. This is not the other thing that I was looking for. This is something else. So I thought we'll have a look at this anyway and have a little chat about this. Because we did a show a long time ago where we talked about kind of weird gear hacks or, kind of crazy looking gear. And one of the things that came out of that was the most popular one out of that was was this Korg mini log that had been hacked into sort of like this, almost like a electrician's workshop sort of test equipment thing. It looked really, really cool. And so that was in there. And I've seen it again in this. And so I'm thinking maybe it's the same guy. All right, so what are we looking at? We are looking at this thing, this MDLR 37. Do you guys see this? This looks really, really cool. Yeah. So what it is, it's there's two popular Korg synths in there, and a Meris Enzo pedal and two Eurorack modules. And this is kind of, I think he calls it the Love Hulton Modular. I think you pronounce it Modular. Synthesizer can be programmed, blah, blah, blah. Now, there is another photo of this. Let me just see if I can grab it. And I do want to mention that I'm actually copying these images off of Synth Anatomy. So big plug for Synth Anatomy, because I'm literally just plagiarizing all their stuff right now, which is probably not the best thing to do, just quietly. Let me grab this other image, because I thought this was actually pretty cool as well, if you didn't see it. So what you saw was the open version, and now what you're going to see is the closed version. How's that? That is a thing of beauty.
Very nice.
Oh, that's very nice. That's proper
wood grain.
Definitely cart that's about.
Yeah, you could put that on the park bench. So it went, just so if you didn't...
Yeah,
if
you could actually.
If you didn't catch it, it was that to...
Open your box on the park bench.
Yeah, play with your box on the park bench. Let's not say that, Ramsey. That's not a very good thing to say.
I'm saying nothing.
But let's see if we can get a video on this, because why not? Because we can. And as we do it, I need to copy the video link in, of course, because I've become so prepared for this show today. It's not funny. But you know what? Stuff it. You guys are patient. And I'll bank on the patience. I'll just bank on it. Now, let me pause the video, rewind it, make it go full screen so that it looks nice and pretty, and then turn that off, go like that, make sure the audio's on, press play, there we go. got to take the little end bits off. Oh, that's good. Is that USB on the back? This is pretty funky though, isn't it? So you're kind of using those bits in again to make the side bits. Okay, I like that. It does look light too, doesn't it? It kind of has a light sort of feel to it. What interests me though are these wooden panels and the modules that he's got in this. Like, they look so cool.
Yeah.
This is a thing of very, very big interest to me.
So it's basically a Korg mini log.
Is it a mini log or a monologue or one of the two? Probably a mini log, isn't it?
Mini log, I think. And
Yeah.
a spring reverb and a tape loop thing.
Yeah, it's what did I say it was? The Meris Enzo pedal, which is a digital synthesizer but in pedal form. And it's the T-Rex replicator analog tape echo and the Dopefer A199 spring reverb Eurorack module.
Definitely
Yeah, I
sounds
like that.
vintage,
I'd
doesn't it?
actually buy that.
Yeah.
I think it might be a bit expensive.
This is the cool thing about this.
Yeah, sounds good.
That that tape echo thing's expensive in itself.
Yeah. The T-Rex
For spring
replicator.
reverb's not. That's fairly affordable.
Yeah, about, what is it, about 70, 80 quid for that.
Yeah.
They're actually good though. I will definitely
Yeah.
recommend the A199. It's a good spring reverb. There's definitely the middle log there. Yeah. Anyway.
It reminds me of a lot of that Micro Korg one that came out a couple of years ago, where someone did something very similar and that kind of separated keyboard, but did it all up in different paneling and stuff like that. That was very nice too. So it's a very lovely unit. I mean, it looks fantastic. You know, you've kind of got that. I mean, it's that real sort of. It'd be nice if someone actually did that kind of aesthetic on a commercial product. That'd be great. You know, but it reminds me a lot of OP1 in a strange way too. It's kind of got that sort of teenage engineering kind of aesthetic too. It's good.
Yeah, so it's a Love Holton. I don't know how you pronounce it. It's got the hyphen on the E, Holton. Probably is Holton. Which is just Love Holton as you HULTEN.com. Now there is a buy button on here, and so this is why I was talking about that weird gear mod show that we did ages ago, because the person that actually did that mini log. What am I saying? Mini log was him. So you can actually buy his modifications, including this thing as well. So definitely go check him out. I reckon it's definitely worth. Maybe a bit later if we can grab the website up and have a bit of a scroll through it, because the front page is literally just beautiful photographs of modded gear after photographs of modded gear. It's literally just, it's worth grabbing a cuppa or something and sitting there and just drooling over how cool that stuff is. But yeah, I just thought I'd show you guys that this week. News is pretty quiet at the moment in terms of the gear front. There's gear that's been released, but it's kind of software updates or firmware updates, or look at my synth that I released 2 years ago. Isn't it pretty? That sort of stuff's going on at the moment. So we kind of don't really want to give people what we call in Australia the second suck of the sav. You like that one, don't you, Andrew? So, the other thing I wanted to mention to you is, speaking of deals, there are some deals about at the moment, and one of them is that Moog, I don't know if it's still on. I think it's either going to be finished soon or not, but for a limited time you can actually get the Moog apps. I think they're the iOS type apps. So there's Model D, Model 15, Animoog, I think there's a filter or something. I can't remember what it's called, Filtertron or something like that. So you can get all those for free at the moment. So if you haven't done that, and even if you're not a real software sort of guy, I do recommend getting them right now, because what are you looking at? Probably maybe about $100 worth of apps for free is not a bad little sort of pickup right now. And yeah, what do you guys think of that? If any of you guys got any of the iPad or iPhone Moog apps? Anyone who played with them?
Yeah,
Andrew?
I've got one. Yeah, I've got one. I don't mind it actually. It's pretty cool. I mean, I grabbed it, I think, last time that it came up for free, so I shouldn't say I spent money on it, but it was good. I mean, it's probably one of the better sounding iPad apps. So I did see that particular thing. I think it's for Bob Moog's birthday. Gotta say it right because I get in trouble. And
it was,
I think, yes, and I think it's a great deal. I think it's I'm meant to do it earlier tonight, and I forgot all about it, so I'll probably do that straight after the show.
Yeah, so if you do want to get them, just obviously visit the Apple App Store and search for Moog, and you'll find them in there, and definitely get them. What about you, Darren? Are you going to get yourself some Moog apps as a freebie? It's always a good move.
Well, I can't, because my iPad is iPad 2 with OS 7 on it, so that's probably a no.
Oh,
unfortunately, but I did have some.
shame.
I did have some apps on it which were quite cool. I had some. Well, I still got them on because they still work. Yeah, I've got a couple of sort of soft synthy.
You got a phone?
free apps on it.
Have you got an iPhone?
I have got a phone, but I've only just recently updated it, so I could get it on it now. So
yeah, so they do run on the iPhone, and for those other people who are wondering, they also do run on the new M1 Max as well, believe it or not. So I don't know, I haven't tried it myself. So anyone in chat got any experience with the Moog apps running on the M1? Then let us know in the chat room. Speaking of chatties, there they are there, talking away nicely. Talking about all sorts of cool stuff, like how their week's been and everything. Yeah, there's no price on that modded gear by Love Holton. I think you need to contact him and talk to him about it. But yeah, I mean, that guy definitely needs to get that sort of stuff made on a bit more of a grand scale. I think he'd do really, really well. That was really sparking my eye candy. I don't know about you guys. Andy, out of those two bits of news, what would you say is the pick of the two? Would you say the mod stuff or the Moog stuff?
I mean I haven't got anything to run those apps, so I would like, be like, oh, they'd be lovely, but no, I haven't got an iPad or an iPhone, so no. But yeah, that modded mini log thing definitely looked interesting, but I suspect the combined price of all the bits and the nice fancy woodwork is going to give it a hefty price tag, because I'm pretty sure that tape loop delay thing as a Eurorack module is pretty pricey in itself. So I think it's lovely. It's a thing of beauty. There's no denying it. It looks fantastic. It sounded great, but I think it'll have a hefty price tag.
Yeah. Oh, it definitely will. It's more a boutique thing, isn't it? So you're kind of, if you do this thing, it'll be purely just for eye candy purposes, and a bit of functionality, of course. I mean, those sort of things inspires you, don't they? When you see something presented in a beautiful way, it kind of it changes the way you approach an instrument. It changes the way you play. So in my mind, that sort of there is an element of cool factor with that. So yeah. Anyway, now I don't usually promote other people's YouTube channels and stuff like that on here, but I think Sam deserves a big nod. He's been a busy lad for many, many years, and I definitely think he's starting to put a really good crack into this modular synthesis side of stuff. He's got his he's doing his modules now where you can DIY them yourself, and they're a 20 centimeter I don't know if you noticed that they're not a Eurorack format module. They're a 20 centimeter in height module, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong in the chat. If this is just all off the top of my memory, I'm talking about this, but they are a 960 style sequencer there, and which Andy, you would probably recognise immediately on the top left there. And then you've got
straight away.
bit similar to sort of the Moog sort of style oscillators and VCAs and things like that in there. But I think this is a cool thing. He's kind of he's got some good points about this format or this form factor, and that is that he does like the ability to have bigger knobs and bigger space around. It's more playable. So if you were to put like a small Eurorack module next to it, it definitely does dwarf it. That's for sure. So yeah, thought I'd give. Sam probably doesn't need any plugging. I'm sure we all subscribe to his channels and everything. But if you haven't, do check out Look Mum No Computer. Big hello to Sam if he's watching. He's an awesome guy. And have you guys been following Sam and his little modular journey? What about you, Darren? I know you kind of love that Eurorack stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Well, like you say, he's got a point. I mean, I wish. Well, in some ways, when you look at your module and you think, some of it's so small on some of it, especially with us oldies getting old and eyesight going. So being that much bigger and bigger knobs and everything, and so on. Yeah, I like it, and I've watched his channel. I've not kept up to date on everything he's doing, but yeah, I do check him out every so often when I get a chance.
Yeah, beautiful. And it looks like people in the chat have been saying similar sort of things, that they've been following him on YouTube, and Wagoo said 4U might be the actual size. So I don't know, someone can go to some Google and work out, is 4U 20 centimeters? I think it probably is. So let us know if it's the same. Because I said 20 centimeters, and 4U is probably a better way of, Wagoo's always says it better than I could. And Iggy was saying Sam introduced her to YouTube. There you go. Geez, YouTube's been around for a while. You must have known Sam a while back. Yeah, and that's a good point that she makes as well. Not just about the size of the knobs, but also about the jacks, the size of the sockets that are on the modules. They're full size. So obviously there's a mechanical longevity with that, isn't there? With having the 1/4 inch jacks. What do you guys think about 1/4 inch jacks versus 3.5 mil or 1/8 inch jacks? Anyone got an opinion about that? Love or hate?
I know I have trouble with 3.5 mil.
Yeah.
1/8. I don't have that much gear with it, but I ages ago I was trying to do a portable setup where I had this a really mini mixer which was all 3.5 mil, and it was just, I ended up chucking the whole thing out because it was just I couldn't get a decent connection, and it just dropped or be crackly or whatever. Whereas I just don't have that kind of problem with the 1/4 inch. So I prefer the 1/4 inch. I'm assuming that a lot of the Eurorack doesn't have that much trouble because the leads are usually such high quality and stuff like that. So maybe that was just my experience with it.
Right. While you were talking too, Wagoo's gone and done all the number crunching for us as we expected, as a good lad he is, and he's told us that there's the measurements for all the different form factors. So 3U is Eurorack, the height of a Eurorack module, unless it's 1U Eurorack module, of course. Then you've got 4U, which is, I believe, the size of the SAM modules. I actually did think it was 20 centimeters. So maybe it might be 5U. We should probably check that out. Anyway, someone on the chat will correct us if we're right or wrong. So, or maybe it's in between. Maybe it's kind of a special size. I'm not sure. I do remember watching one of his videos, and he made a big point about 20 centimeters. And I don't know if this was before he started going mainstream with this format or not. But yeah, anyway, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. It is what it's going to be. And I think the other side of it too was when you're making the cases and things like that, it kind of fits in nicely with some of the other things that are out there in the world. So it's easily accessible. So you're not kind of going into this kind of weird sort of measurement sort of world. It's quite interesting. It's almost like, why didn't Eurorack why was Eurorack not that size? And obviously I know why Eurorack wasn't that size, but he's kind of asking that question, which I thought was, it's a good question to ask. You know, why is Eurorack so small? Why is it not this size? Blah, blah, blah. And, you know, it's another
Well, it was
conversation.
originally
for another day.
5U anyway, wasn't it? It was originally 5U with all the Moog
Moog
modules.
Moog
And then,
modules were, and Surge.
Yeah,
think-
and then I think when Eurorack sort of first became more popular, they were sort of this. There was a bit of competition between the two, and then I think just 3U won out because it was easier and cheaper to move around, and you could, you know, it was far more portable, and I don't know, maybe that was just the way it was. I don't know.
Yeah, looks like Wagoo's gone and checked it out. He says, I apparently am right. It is a 20 centimeter module, so it must be somewhere in between 4 and 5U. And he's saying that it might be because 20 centimeter blanks are easy to get, I guess, on the market without having to do any extra sort of special cutting, which is possible. I'm not sure. I actually don't really go into that side of metalwork and things these days, so I don't know. I haven't actually tried that. Something I probably will do one day when I decide to make my own Eurorack module, but so far I've avoided it. Like the memes we had the last couple of weeks, hey? It's been good. Been beautiful. Now, gentlemen, I actually want to disappear for a sec to prepare something. So, what can we do? Maybe, what can we do? Andy, do you want to do something off cuff or something?
I can do. I just discovered that I didn't press save, so what I had going was I'm quite happy to give this over here a go if people are interested. Because I mean, in terms of analog effects, the only analog effect that I've got in my rack is the nostalgia delay. But I can crank that up and mess about with it if people are patient and not expecting musical genius.
Now, do you want
give it a shot?
Do you want me to hang around?
Musical genius, Andy.
If I leave it
thanks, Darren.
if I leave it to Darren and Andrew, yeah, we can hear that. Okay, cool. I'm going to mute my mic and I'll be back in a minute.
Yeah.
Okay, you've got the floor. Go for it.
Give us a second, folks. I'll see if I can get the camera.
Don't do anything too good because then I'll regret making the track from last time.
Yeah, thanks, Darren. Can I get this to work? Where's that pointing? Is that pointing anywhere near something that looks remotely like a Euro? I have no idea.
There we go.
See if that does that. How's that?
That's all right.
That's that working?
Yep, that'll do.
Don't often get to see this side of the studio.
No. Right, yes, the new bit. Right, give us a sec. How's that? Is that getting a bit more in Akai? Oh. Right, there's the cue. Well, I'll see what happens now. Just give me one moment.
For that Black Beat Step Pro.
Very nice.
Unlike my white one, that's slightly bent.
All right, Andy, when you're ready. Beautiful, beautiful. We'll leave the shot just there for a sec. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to cross over to, we're going to go live to this shot here, birthday cam. Big special live. I'll just get the match happening. Now, without further ado, everybody on the show and on the video calling and also in the chat, after 3, we're all going to sing happy birthday to Darren. 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, dear Darren. Happy birthday to you.
Darren on a bench.
Now, Darren.
Happy birthday to you.
Darren, please make a wish and blow out the candles. Okay, you ready? Now make the blowing.
Yep.
Make the blow face with your lips. Okay, ready? 1, 2.
That sounds a bit.
Come on,
the park
1,
bench.
2, 3. Hey! Look at that! The wonders of the internet. He blew the candle out. Did you make a wish?
I blew it out.
12,000 miles away.
Now, unfortunately,
Very nice. Thank you very much.
unfortunately, Darren, the cake will probably be off by the time I sent it to you. So I'm just going to give it to the kids instead here. But they'll appreciate it anyway.
That's my piece I've sent you.
Yeah. Now, I'm not going to point any fingers at anybody on who's to blame for this, but you know, you deserve a good little birthday wish. And everyone in the chat is also wishing you happy birthday as well. Look at that. Hey, look at all those emojis.
Well done, Foxy.
Fantastic. Thank you all.
Foxy wins the internet with his. It's like we're flopping the big ones out. Foxy's, yep, here's mine.
Whoa, calm down.
Beautiful. Is it a Vegemite cake, says Jan. No, it's not. It's definitely, I don't even know what that is, to be honest.
No one to be that cruel.
Yeah. There would probably be vomit next to the cake if it was. But yeah, it's a, I'm not going to move it around because it'll fall apart, but this is all just icing. This is obviously a kid's cake. And no, there's no birthdays here at the moment. We literally did buy this for Darren, but we are going to eat it instead of Darren eating it, of course. These are all these lollies here. I don't know if you get them in the UK called Smarties.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Of course.
And there's an ice cream cone there. I don't even know what the hell that's about. Maybe it's an arty sort of thing. And inside is it just your traditional sponge cake? It's like a rainbow sponge cake. So yeah. Hope you enjoy that. That's not synth related at all.
All the family.
Yeah. Look, if I could send it to you, mate, I would. I'm literally trying to work out. There was one guy who said to me, he said, you can freeze things and you can post frozen things across the world and they'll stay frozen. There's a special courier service.
But just think, you could send that and it might go to the same place as a CD went, so he'll have a cake and something to listen to.
The bastard. He's listened to my CD and now he'll be eating cake. Hey? He's just sitting there rubbing his hands together right now.
He's going, this is great. I hope he sends some more stuff.
Genius. My goodness me. Yeah, no, the Smarties are great. They're like, I don't know if I think they're probably better than M&M's, to be honest. They were around before M&M's were. They're kind of similar, aren't they? They're like a hard shell, like sugary thing with chocolate in the middle.
Nestle, aren't they?
They are, yes. Yep. What are M&M's? Mars, aren't
French. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Nestle.
Mars,
Nestle. I don't think they're French. I think they're Swiss, aren't they?
Are they not?
Swiss. Yeah.
Is it?
I think they're a Swiss. I think Wagyu would be the closest person to Nestle right now, if he's still there. Yeah.
Swiss.
So now you guys know why the show was late. the actual
He was out
truth.
buying that cake.
I was buying the cake.
Making it even.
Was that ice in a cake and
Yeah. Here, let's go to cake
making a
cam.
candle?
In
like
fact,
my
One of
hand
those
from
Smarties is a
beeswax.
button with a sample synth underneath.
I think during the show, a few times we're going to have to go to cake cam just to see if it's still there and it hasn't been eaten by the kids. There it is. There, it's still safe. Yep, it's live. There's my hand. I think we just need to keep an eye on cake cam.
It'll just slowly disappear over the rest of the show.
Yeah. Like a stop motion video.
Yes. Now, during the week, I was coming up with obviously a topic for the show, and this week I decided, because I had such good ideas coming into my brain, as in all I could hear was crickets, I decided that I'll just randomly pick one, and I picked this topic for the show this week, and I don't even know why. Modular analog FX. So I don't know why I chose that topic, but I guess it might have had something to do with the fact that I was noodling around with my Eurorack during the week, and I thought, gee, there's a lot of analog effects in here, and I thought, we don't really talk about this that much. So, that's kind of that's how it happened, and that's how my brain works. So if that confused the utter pants off of you right now, well then, welcome to my world. Right, so I don't really know what we can do, I guess, in terms of talking about it, but I do have a camera set up over in the back corner where the modular gear is set up, so maybe we should have a little fiddle and play and talk and go down that way, and I think maybe that might actually sort of be a bit more synth related for the show for a start, instead of doing birthday cakes and being late and things like that. What does that sound like? Do you reckon that's a good one? Good idea? Should we try it?
Yeah.
Let's fly by the seat of our pants, as always.
Yeah, why don't we do that? Now, I don't know how this is going to work. Go to Cake Cam, because Cake Cam is on the same connection. And we need to reset.
Hey, this is going to be a new thing now, isn't it? Every time it goes to a new cam, it'll be Cake Cam, even if it's not there.
Yeah, or Cake Walk Cam if you're Andy.
Well, we'll see.
Now,
yeah, why not?
Now, I need to find out. I haven't even tested this to see if we've got sound, right? Now, we have sound. Do we have sound? $60,000 question. Do we have sound? Because I didn't prepare the show
cake
earlier.
is going to.
The cake is a lie.
Now, you guys can hear that, right? No, can you not hear that?
Yeah. Is that a spring from a spring reverb?
No, that's a... Okay, we need to get the cake cam off in a sec. Just let me see if I can get this GoPro working. Is it this one? Oop. Yeah, it's gone black, don't worry. Don't worry, I'm still here. Look. You can hear sounds, right?
Yep.
I'm just trying to get the GoPro working. And right now, it doesn't seem to be playing. Oh!
Yep.
Oh! Here we go. This could be good. Let's not panic. I don't know what those pictures are, but they're not porn. Quick, get off those pictures. All right, here we go. Let's move it around a little bit. I don't know, you guys can see that or not? Do you want me to put some more light on it? I don't know if we need... There we go. Is that better?
That's
Oh,
better.
I thought
Yeah,
the plant was playing.
Oh, the lovely plant. There it is there. Hi everyone. Okay, so what on earth have I got here? So let's turn all these pedal effects off, which are just in front of us here.
Hey, I'll tell you what, Rans, Behringer should be sponsoring this show, the amount of coverage they're getting today.
Oh no, yeah, I saw all your stuff as well. I did I did a tweet about the show, and I did actually copy him on the tweet as well. So you never know. They never ever repost my videos. I'm obviously not sexy enough. Right. Okay. So where I was coming from was, I don't know if you guys follow my channel, but I did a video a while back on the Behringer 172, which is their phaser Eurorack module, which is you can't really see it because it's all in that jumbled mess. Anyway, it's there. And while I did that video, I was actually trying an attempt to compare it to the 572, which is a Roland module, which is pretty much exactly the same thing, right? And as I did the video, I actually discovered that I actually had a fault with that module, the Roland one. So I ended up having to send it off to get repaired. And lo and behold, it was definitely faulty, and they replaced it. And now I've got it back. Yay! So there's the Roland 572 next door to the Behringer 172. And I guess what we could start off by doing is, let's get it. Right, so what we are hearing right now is just a single oscillator coming out of the 110 Behringer module here. Now, so you probably noticed that sounded a bit different. So I've got all the effects turned off, and it's just kind of filter envelope that you're hearing. So there's no analog effects going on. But the first one I like to play with is on this Behringer 172, there's actually an audio delay. And if we turn it on, it kind of has a bit of a chorusy, flangey sort of sound to it.
What's the longest delay time you can get on that module runs? Is it really very short, or can you get up into really an echo?
The number says 10, so it's not quite Spinal Tap, but it goes to 10. And at the moment, this
10
one's
what?
10 something. The knob says 10. I don't know. I don't have any information in front of me. Stop. Someone can look it up. It's on 10 right now.
Oh, so it's pretty short then.
I'm adjusting it now. You get a kind of like a sort of rubber bandy sort of sound. So there's that delay going from nothing there to 10, right? So to me, I said it in my video, to me this sounds more like a chorus / flanger, depending on what modulation intensity and resonance and that sort of stuff that you set it on. Because I believe inside that pedal would be some sort of pseudo bucket brigade delay. Anyway, The next one next to it is the Roland 572. What was that? Someone had a big truck going past their house or something? Not my end.
Not me.
Okay, so the first thing that I'll probably mention is with the 572, listen to, someone's got a really loud sound coming out their end. Can you guys just mute for a sec? It's not Darren. Okay, who was that just turned theirs down?
That was me.
Okay, so it's coming from your end, Andrew.
That's why I can't hear it. I don't know what that is though.
And
I'll mute for a while.
You need to pull yours really hot right now as well. Okay.
Right, how's that?
Yeah, better. Right, beautiful. What we'll do is I'll just turn up the mix knob on the 572 module, and I just want you guys to listen to how noisy this is. Ready? That's just nothing going through, and you can hear this kind of just a noise. Like, so first off the ranks, when it's on max mix, which is 10 again, Andy, right? It's literally just got like this crappy noise going through it, which I wasn't very impressed with. Sorry, Roland, but that's just crap. I don't like that sort of shit. People who might like old-fashioned 80s, 70s gear might like that sort of stuff, but I can't handle that. Anyway, it does actually sound nice when you start putting sound through it. So it's kind of chorusing a bit there, isn't it? Listen to how loud that noise is. It's terrible.
It's like a noise gate or something.
Remember, I just had this repaired.
Is that the Roland Moleco module? That
It is, yeah. If I turn it off, the noise,
Well,
you can hear that it's not the synth making that noise. Right, there's the synth. Now I'll turn that back on. Hear that? This is crazy.
I don't know whether I like it actually.
I don't like that at all.
For some things, but
Yeah. Anyway, so there's the same delay circuit that they both have got. So the 572 and the 172, they actually are different. If you do muck around with them, you'll get different sort of look. They both belong in that chorus flanger sort of realm. I wouldn't call it an audio delay, but someone might correct me. And I'm not paying attention to chat, so someone might need to do that for me and just sing out if anyone's kind of throwing.
it's all right. We're on about your green plant.
Lovely. Thanks, IKEA. IKEA is the sponsor for this show. Everyone's now rushing off. Buy now at IKEA. No. Okay. So the next thing I want to show you guys is. So we're going to do that same.
So it's a fake one then.
That's a fake one, yeah. Does that disappoint you, Darren? Are you disappointed?
It does because we were all expecting. Very disappointed. That should be real. You should be watching it and looking
you
at
literally want me to rock up here with all these cables and shit and water that, do you? Is that what you want?
Yeah, it's a sense of danger.
you're a twat. Anyway, what I'm going to do is
at least Belladonna's plants are all real.
Yeah, she's good like that. Now, what I'm going to do is come on, guys. I'm going to do the audio delay back on the Behringer module again. I'm going to turn that on. But this time I'm going to add the 106 chorus module, which we all know that I got recently. It's actually the Juno. It's a proper analog Juno clone chorus module. And let's have a listen to it again. And all that sort of subtle modulation that it's just bringing into that single oscillator. Just remember that, guys. So far, we've got no delay, no reverb. It's literally just a filter envelope going through a single oscillator, going through the audio delay, and a bit of chorus on the end. That is pure 70s, 80s, analog synth sound, if you ever wanted to hear it. Now, obviously then you can start mucking around with the delay time and the mod intensity and the resonance and things like that. So as I was doing before. Now the other thing that you should probably know about these modules is they have a built-in LFO. And the built-in LFO will obviously change the mod intensity rate. And so let's play with the LFO a little bit. It's a very slow LFO at the moment, and let's go a bit faster. And you'll start heading in the flanger territory in a sec. So there you go, that's just all that is just the auto delay with a bit of chorus. Right. So the next thing we'll do is we'll turn that off for a sec and we'll keep the chorus on because I do like how it kind of separates the stereo and it just gives it a bit of fatness. So this is no effects except the chorus. Okay. What we're going to do now is we're going to try the phase shifter. And we're getting harmonics out of this, guys, and this is a cool thing. So when you start getting harmonics, the best thing I think to do with it is to chuck a delay on because it'll pick up the harmonics on the back scatter of the delay and you start getting sounds like this. So this is where the analog goes out the window because I'm now using a digital delay. But we did talk about analog delays before, so don't get too angry with me. But I love that delay pedal by the. If you're ever wondering what it is, it's this one here, the Boss DD500. I've shown it a million times on my channel. So the pattern that I'm using is called pattern. It's the mode, I should say, not the pattern. The mode I'm using is called pattern. What I like about that is probably not when the note actually hits, but the kind of stuff that happens slightly after it. It's like the tail. And I think sometimes effects sound better at the tail end than they do at the start, and the transient or whatever you want to call it. So let's listen to that again, but pay more attention to the tail and all the harmonics that you can hear sort of just popping off in the background. It's really good. So there you go. Some really cool sound designy sort of stuff there. All right, let's try the Roland one. So that's the, we'll turn the delay off for a sec. So that was the Behringer 172. Now let's try the Roland one. Now I'm going to turn the mix up to max again. Let's see if we hear noise. A bit. So I can hear a very slight delay, sorry, not delay, phaser sound coming through that. So whatever chips they've used, Roland, they're a bit noisy. Okay, anyway, let's keep going. Now, one thing I'll say about the Roland phase, or phaser, is I think it has a bit more of a harsh resonance in it, so you can actually get this thing to kind of squeal at you, which is a cool thing. You just got to kind of find the sweet spot with the mod knob. The other thing I noticed too is, sorry, the shift frequency knob, what am I saying, not mod knob, is the shift frequency knob on the Behringer seems to be the opposite to the shift frequency knob on the Roland. So you turn it all the way to the left and you kind of get that more resonancy sort of sounding phaser. And on the Behringer, you turn it all the way to the right. So interesting why they've done it that way, but anyway. So that's that. Now let's just play with the LFO a bit. Now let's add a delay in. And what else can we do? We can speed delays and turn the resonance off. Right, so cool. You kind of get the idea. So what I was doing before was I was changing the envelope to more of a kind of a stabby sort of thing, and then adding our little audio delay in, and getting that delay time up again. And then we can add some reverb in. And we don't want that, we want a better, probably one of these types of reverbs. All right, now, the next thing we want to do is we want to try to get some sort of sequence happening, right? Let's see what we can do here. Now, let's just control this sequencer for a sec. And division. I don't like that kick much, do you guys? Ooh, let's do that. All right, let's get some modulation happening. Okay, now see if we can get some sequence happening. Probably don't want that actually. Sorry, give me a sec. What I want is an arpeggiator.
Wow. Like that.
All right, so I can just leave that running because it's kind of like a bit of a drone sort of sequence, right? And what we want to get going now is And the magic with a button, we just go like this. And the whole thing stops. And then we go, oh.
Very nice.
But that all it is just mucking around with analog FX. Let me put the camera back onto me. The other phaser that I had in there was the Frequency Central one, which we haven't tried yet. But I did muck around with that the other day a little bit when we had the annoying sound coming out of the Roland module right now. Let me just turn that off. Otherwise, we're going to be listening to that all stream. Okay, here we go. Beautiful. All right, so what do the chatties say? Let's have a quick look. Is it rubbish throwing synths at the screen? Cool. Yeah. So just like it's literally just fiddling with envelopes and delays and yeah. And you kind of find these little sweet spots. And it was, for me, what I wanted probably more of that was probably to sort of hear more of the tail, not so much the transient attack of some of that synth sound. I actually kind of liked more of the noise part of it as opposed to the actual notes part of it, if that makes sense. So that's why the arpeggiator pattern that I put into that probably wasn't as important to be in tune or anything. It was more just the, the beat of the note sort of, and then you got that sort of tail transient from the rest of it. That was kind of the idea behind that. And then those delays and flanges and choruses and all that sort of stuff, they it's just like a big bowl of soup, isn't it? And we're kind of happy about that. Now, speaking of which, we should just probably double check to make sure that no one's gone and stolen the cake. Cake cam, just double check, see if it's still, yep. Look, it's upside down, but it's still there. But yeah, Darren hasn't snuck over here yet. He hasn't jumped on the plane. But yeah, it's still there, guys. So don't worry. Kids are actually probably in bed, to be honest, or on YouTube or something. But yeah, anyway, that was kind of what I meant by analog effects. So I think we'll go back and muck around a bit more, but I think that's enough to spark a conversation with you guys. So in terms of Eurorack, it doesn't have to be Eurorack because I used outboard pedals and stuff on there as well. What do you guys kind of feel like, in terms of, are you kind of into this whole analog effects thing, or does it really matter if it's digital or analog, or do you have kind of a place that you sit with that? Is that kind of something that you feel is important to you? Who wants to go first?
I don't have a place.
Well, you've been kicked out?
No, yeah, that's it. The studio's down. Just a park bench. No, I don't mind whether it's digital or analog. To be honest, I don't have a preference. Like I said, I haven't got that many. I haven't got that many effects modules in my rack. That's the sort of thing I need to build up on. Actually, I do use pedals as well, but I wouldn't say I'm like a diehard. Oh, it's got to be analog effects or something like that. Whatever sounds good, to be honest. If it's a digital one that works and it sounds nice, then it'll be a digital one. Any effect, even if it's a VST effect. I mean, even if I run a synth into the computer and use a VST effect, if that sounds that sounds I like it, then fair enough to me. I don't have a specific, I've got to run an analog reverb or an analog delay through this synth or through the modular. It can be pretty much anything. Effects at the end of the day, and if it sounds really cool, then that's all that matters. That's my opinion anyway.
Now, in terms of effects, I mean, this is something that I guess is the reason why I brought this topic up. The ones that I showed first are probably no surprise, no brainer. You guys are thinking, yep, that's kind of what we all know and understand and love and blah, blah, blah. The next time I go back over there, which will be in a couple of minutes, I'll be showing some different types of analog effects that maybe some of us may not always think of as analog effects. And I want to show you guys how important they can be, especially when you hear some of the synth greats from, like the Vangelis's, the Jean-Michel Jarre's, all those sort of you know, John Carpenter, all those sort of awesome people that you've heard that had that limitation of gear back in the day. These were the go-to things, and it's going to be fun. We'll hit that in a sec. But I thought I'd grab Andrew. I'll grab your brains now. I know you love this whole synthesizer stuff, and I know you're not a big modular guy, but I know you do love the analog sound. So I sort of pick your brains with that.
Yeah, look, I have to agree with Darren. I don't care whether it's a digital unit or an analog unit, as long as it sounds really rich or harmonic or actually adds something to the sound. I mean, there are some terrible digital units, but I use a fair few. I'm starting to get into pedals now, where I get like very synths that have not a lot of character, or they're fairly plain, and then using the effects pedals to actually bring them out. And because I find that if I get a synth that has all onboard effects and then I try and throw them into effects, actually it kind of just muddies the sound and makes it horrible. So I'm getting into that, and I'm actually finding that I'm starting to use more effects that are subtle, that just add a little bit of extra character, that don't need to go too crazy. So I've started, as a mate of mine, he's been bringing over a whole bunch of even tube preamps and just using them to bring out some of that harmonics and the warmth and stuff like that. And it's all very subtle stuff. So I've been having more fun with that at the moment. I mean, I think the one that I've just discovered recently, which is a pedal, which is the TC Electronic Mimic, which is really nice for taking mono equipment and turning it into, giving it a really nice stereo width. It works a little bit differently. So it's not like a chorusing. It's actually just a little bit more. It takes one channel and changes it slightly. I can't quite describe it. I've only just started to play with it, but I'm starting to get really into that. That stuff for me is very, very cool.
Yeah, no, that pedal is actually pretty cool. I've checked it out before. Don't own one myself, because probably got something else that does what it can do, but it definitely does. It's a nice pedal for sure. All right, cool. Now, Andy, I know this is right up your alley. This is why I kept you to last. In terms of your stuff you've got now, you're growing your Eurorack. You've got your semi-modular stuff like your Pro ones there. You've got your Volcas and everything. What do you sort of feel this whole analog effects, more sort of retro analog effects? How do you feel that sort of fits in with your sound that you want to make?
Well, do you want to know the truth, right? If I'm honest with you, I prefer digital delay. I've probably just upset a lot of people there. I mean, I've got analog delays. I bought the Dreadbox Nostalgia to go in the rack, and it does give that vintage delay sound. It definitely does. And I've also got the Tip Top Z5000 in there, which is a digital effects unit, which is great. I mean, I really like that. But I'm with you guys on what you've said. It doesn't really matter to me whether it's digital or analog, as long as it actually sounds nice, adds a certain richness or a certain something, or just some movement. I think that it doesn't really matter to me. I mean, I've only got, like I said, those two effects units in the Eurorack case at the moment. There may well be more, because one of the modules I'm definitely thinking of picking up is that phase module, that delay, that phase delay module from Behringer to go in with that System 100 that's in the rack.
I definitely have been impressed with it.
Welcome.
The Dreadbox ones are nice.
Yeah, Dreadbox one's nice.
Yeah, there's
as well.
quite a few in the Dreadbox range, actually. Darren, you're right. I mean, again, I keep there's so much choice. It's only you've got to go, do you know what? I'm going to bloody finish this System 100, and then I can move on to other things. Really, once I've got that done, and I think, right, okay, that's enough of that now. So I think for me, the next bits are the dual oscillator and the dual VCA, and probably that phase module. But yeah, really, it doesn't matter to me whether it's analog or digital. It really doesn't. I know that that the analog ones can be noisy. You've demonstrated that perfectly amply today, particularly that Roland one. That was chucking out some horrible noise, wasn't it?
Yeah,
But,
yeah. Look, I don't know if they fixed it properly. That could be the other problem. They might not have. They might have replaced a component on there and not done it properly. But I mean, look, it's working better than what it did last time anyway. That's for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we all know. I mean, like the Volca. I mean, what is it? This thing here, the Volca keys. That's got a bucket brigade delay built into it, and it's bloody horrible. I don't like it at all. You turn it up, and suddenly everything just gets swamped in a horrible mush of hiss. So I never use it. I never use it.
It's mushy. It's very mushy, isn't it? It's very sort of
don't like
crunchy.
it. Yeah, it's a shame because the thing itself sounds nice, but but I mean, I've got a few other sort of old digital effects. It was interesting that Mac in the chat was talking about wanting to pick up some 19-inch rack units, and I can't help but feel like so would I'd like some better ones than I've got. Just a couple of Zoom boxes and things like that.
I would as well.
Yeah, you've got the Zoom, haven't you?
Yeah. I would like.
I've got the Zoom and the.
I'd like to get the Eventide harmonizer.
Twin.
I reckon that would be good. Get one of those harmonizers. I know a digital, but they are just so much fun. Like there's the algorithms in there. Just
you mean the Eventide harmony? You mean the H3000s or whatever they are, H5000?
But I know you can.
Expensive though.
I know you can use VST versions, which I've got. But I actually want to get an old one. Because I want to have one. All right, let's go back to a la module. Sorry about the camera angle. It's probably not the greatest. I probably should have thought this through a bit better. I do have another GoPro here I could probably turn on. But yeah, the next, I've got a bit much air over. Sorry for all the noise. The next one is, let me just swap my headphones over so I'm not pulling the cable too much. Now, do we have sound again or what story? What's the story? Oh, the ARP is still on. There. All right, cool. All right, so turn everything off. Now, the next part of it, I guess, is probably what you're thinking. Well, what was he talking about before when I was talking about the other type of analog effects that people don't necessarily think are analog effects? Well, there's plenty of them. And a lot of people forget to use them, or some people don't use them as well as they could. Now, one, I guess, probably that we all should probably use is the ring mod. That's probably, would you not classify that as an effect? I would, because it definitely affects the way an oscillator or a noise or something. You got signal in and, ring mod out. So what should we do? How should we do this? I guess we can output the oscillator. How do we do this? We can go, instead of going out into the phase shifter, so we'll VCA out and ring mod, and then we'll go in. And then what we'll do is we will LFO that somehow. How can we LFO that? We can probably LFO that by, I don't know, we'll borrow the Roland one. Why not? Can't be too bad, surely. Right, now. I need to... sorry. I need to do something a little bit more trendy here. Let's try this way. We need to put noise into this. So, white or pink?
White.
And we need to trigger it somehow. Why am I not getting this working? Ring mod not working. Signal in, signal out, LFO, ring mod X, ring mod out. Yeah. Okay. All I'm getting is the noise, which I don't really want. And I'm getting it applied like through an LFO, which we don't want either. Oh, I know. Okay. Right. Why don't we do this? We will go noise to, we don't need to use that. Sample and hold. And we don't need to worry about the clock too much. All right, so I'm now introducing some sample and hold, which is another form of modulation, I guess. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get like a shattery sort of effect on top of the oscillator. So it's kind of, when you pluck it, it kind of should, if I take the delay off, you'll hear it more. It's like a, here it kind of slaps. So what that is this, the sample and hold helps you kind of build that modulation of the filter, but the ring mod gives you that sort of noise slap through the other VCA input. And you can have the same, if you wanted to, you don't actually have to have the LFO running the sample and, the ring mod. You can have the sample and hold running the ring mod, and it would actually be in time with the filter, but I don't like that. I kind of like things to be more chaotic. So when you add the delay in, it'd be interesting to know, that's just me testing the sound out. It'd be interesting to hear how that sounds now with an arpeggiator running as a sequence, and I start mucking around with that filter envelope. So let's try that. You're not hearing it yet. So what that's adding is like another sound on top of the oscillator, and it could be coming from anywhere, but it's actually coming from the same VCA. So instead of putting it through the VCA, I'm now going to put it through the filter. Take the oscillator out a little bit so you can start to hear more of that ring mod coming through. Add some reverb. So let's just turn off that other sequence for a sec. See how it's like adding these little sort of slappy random sounds? The sample and hold makes the randomness of that slappy sound. That's what it's there for, and the ring mod is actually giving you that. So, like, we could be here for hours doing this. It's just, I mean, forgetting that I've got people watching my stream and I could just like noodle for hours, but I'm not going to do that. So really that was kind of just mucking around with sample and hold and a ring mod, and there's another form of analog effects. And when you think about it, there's that was apart from the reverb, which let's face it, Blue Sky, Big Sky from Strymon is one of the best reverb pedals you can have going around. Basically what you've got is you've got a Roland basic sound. So, but I'm using the Behringer module. So we'll just go back over to the shot, you'll see it. So you've got the Behringer 110, which is a oscillator, VCF, VCA, all-in-one Euro-rate module. And I'm using, so they're System 100 modules basically. I'm using the 172 for the audio delay. I'm using a Juno 106 chorus Euro-rate module, which is from, what are those guys called again? Keep forgetting their names.
Frequency Central.
No, Frequency Central aren't them.
Sorry.
That's okay. I forgot the names. Anyway, I'll grab the details in a sec. Frequency Central is the envelope generator that I'm using. It's actually a System 100 envelope generator, but the only reason why I'm using it is because it's got the fast and slow modes on it, whereas the Behringer one is pretty slow. So that's how I'm getting that snappy envelope sound.
Yeah.
I'm using the sample and hold ring mod module, which is a Behringer module, which is a System 100 clone. And all of that's going through a mixer into the guitar pedals, which you can see right at the bottom left of your screen and out into your ears. So it's pretty basic, but it's really just one oscillator that's kind of, if you think about it, it's kind of, that's what's stemming everything out from, and that oscillator is triggering all those other sort of effects to happen in the tail. And obviously I've got, to back it up, I've got a little drum kick, and there was a sort of sequence, just to kind of give it a bit more oomph. But yeah, they, if you're wondering what those other sounds were, it was a Erica Synth Pico drums module making the kick. It was the IntelliJuel Metropolis doing the sequencer, which is this thing. and it was a Roland System 500 module making the actual notes of that, and all of the modules within that System 500 making that. So that's kind of unrelated, but it's separate. But that's just to give it a little bit extra. So that's what's happening in the background. You didn't need all of that. It was pretty much just maybe 3 or 4 modules in total would probably get you across the line with what I was doing just then. You probably don't need the chorus. You probably don't need the reverb and delay. You could probably just use your DAW like Darren said. So, but the analog effects, just those 3 modules will get you across the line. And what are they? 50 quid each? So there's 150 quid worth of modules?
More than that, 80 quid.
Okay.
80 to £100. Can I ask you, Rons, what your output module is?
The output module is well, in that particular rack,
do you use
is the Behringer one.
The Behringer one.
Yeah. So it's not that great. It's only a 4-port mixer, so it's not the fantastic.
Yeah.
I actually this is where I think some of these Roland modules, Behringer modules, I think cross over, and I think some of them are better, vice versa. I think the Roland, it's more expensive by a long shot though, but the Roland Moleco, it's called the 531, is a 6 input mixer, much better. It's actually, you can actually just see it in the, I'll put my hand near it, you can see my hand. It's actually there. So the Behringer one's next to it there, and the Roland one's there in the rack brute case.
How do you find the output level on jacks?
Yeah, fine. Yeah, you can.
Do you? Because I think mine's really quite low compared to the other things that I've got coming in from roundabout. I find that it's actually really not very high, and I have to crank it right up on the desk.
So you do have. I can't remember. I've just got to remember which one's which, because getting sort of mixed up with. So on my Behringer one right now, I've got the master level set at 6, so it's not even at 10. So you've got to bear in mind.
Right up.
Yeah, so you've got to bear in mind that what you're feeding into it. Okay, so the actual channels themselves are at max. They're on 10. But what's feeding into it, I actually found with the chain that I had with the 1110, the 172, like if you're looking at it from a chain, it's the 1110 going into 172 technically, and then straight in if you wanted to bypass those other modules because they can all be through. That tended to come out quite hot, and I found it peaking. So yeah, your VCAs are probably going to be your key there if you're finding it not quite hitting the grade. So check your VCAs or what you're feeding into your VCAs. Yeah, that's for sure. Okay, we've got some questions coming from chatties. I think it's probably a good time to answer some questions. Mm-hmm. So I answered Martin's question. He's asked, what am I using? Feedback module. Yes, the chorus module. Thanks, Wagoo. Feedback modules. He's just bought one as well. Yeah, they were really good. Look, I actually approached them after buying it. Funnily enough, I bought mine, and then about 2 weeks later, they went on sale. So I missed out on the cheaper price. But anyway, they look, a good plug to them. They're a good little sort of boutique Eurorack company. They make that Roland Juno 106 chorus module probably the closest that I've heard to actually sounding what Darren's got behind him, because they're actually using the proper the Vive MN3009 Bucket Brigade delay chips. I've talked about this before. So it's actually really nice, and it's also got a stereo output on it too, which is nice to have in your rack. It's nice to have like a chorus that comes out in both your ears, because we are born with 2 ears. We do have to remember that at times. Okay, what else? Sonic Link says, yeah. So he's got the 531, the Roland 531 for its panning. Yeah, you can do panning on both, actually. You can do panning on the Behringer one as well. If you guys, sorry, I didn't actually mention the model number of that Behringer one. It's the 305. Sorry, I should say. It's actually really quite a cheap mixer if you kind of need a sort of, it's a pretty big module though, but it's quite cheap. It's got an EQ on it. I don't know how good the EQ is. Look, Behringer are good at making mixers, so you'd think they would be pretty good at making this. But I do like the Roland one better, I think. Chon's just popping in to say hello. Well, hello there, Chon. Hello there, Mr. Tom. And what else? I think that's probably about it. Most people were pretty much kind of just listening and commenting and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, so Sonic Link was mentioning before that he liked the cherusing effect from the slightly detuned oscillators with the pan spread. Now, that's the System 500 that you're probably talking about, because what that is, and I can't really sort of show you because I don't really have it. Well, I'll probably show you from here. So what that is the System 500 rack is there, and then you've got the IntelliJ Metropolis sequencing that, but then the output of the System 500 modules goes into the magneto here. And that kind of panning and everything is happening on the tape delay feature of the magneto. And the detuning of the oscillators is done on purpose because I just love that kind of sickly sounding detune analog 80s oscillator. I just love it. It's just, yeah, I can never get enough of it. I love listening to some of those old, early 80s synth pops records, and you just go, doesn't that synth sound so out of tune? And then, God, that's awesome. That's just, that's where we all came from, isn't it?
I have to say, Rans, that I tell you what, after listening to all of that, though, I'd be very tempted to set up a Euro rack that was just effects. Not even for sound sources, just for that kind of tweakability and just patching. That I think that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, and look, that's how I started. So I called it my glitch rack, which is still here, and I do use it a lot. So you would have heard in that little sequence, I had kind of like a weirdy sort of squeaky sort of thing going in the background. So
yeah, that's good.
So you've got to add these little elements to make your music sound unique, I guess, and it's probably not the best thing. But what that actually was a I'll go to this shot of me again. So it's this module here that was doing it, and so what that was a Erica Synth Pico Drum 2 module, and it was being modulated with the 2 CV inputs with the IntelliJ planner, which you can see it's this module here. It's very hard for you guys to see, but it's got a little joystick on it. And what I do is I record my hand movements with this and play it back. And then that is then manipulating the 2 parameters on that Pico Drums 2 module. And then that is going into, the output of that is going into the Typhoon, which is a Clouds module, a Clouds clone. And there's a whole bunch of settings on that. And so when you hear it, it kind of sounds like, let's turn this stuff off. That's that sound.
Yeah. It's just it's a good fun, that.
Yeah. So I could, but the beat of it is the actual PAMs doing that. So I could slow that down if I wanted to. Which is trig going into number 7. So that's 4 times the beat. So we could slow that down. That's just changing the speed of the sequence. I could even modulate that if I wanted to. So that is just making use of modules that you probably wouldn't use like that. So this is something that I'm getting into at the moment, where I'm like putting noise into modulation sources where you'd normally put an envelope generator, or I'm putting sample and holds into, just breaking the said rules that synths don't usually allow you to do when you buy a normal desktop synth, or a keyboard synth. Breaking those rules, and that's what Eurorack and Modular it's good for. So you get sort of cool stuff like that. I wouldn't say that's cool, by the way. But the other cool thing about it too is next to it I've got the 2600, and that means now with all of these kind of inputs that you've got on this, they can all be manipulated to places where the 2600 probably never went originally. I mean, obviously it would have at some stage in its life because it's been around for so long. But like what I'm saying is they originally weren't planned on doing that sort of stuff. So yeah, like the Clouds module, the Typhoon it's called here, has an aux input, and it's crazy. I thought it was just to plug another audio source in because that's what we assume, right? An aux input is for. No, what it actually does is the audio input is actually something that changes the way the position, density, size, and texture of the Clouds module across the channel. You can actually do it either individually or across the board, and whatever audio signal's coming into it, you can actually play radio through it, anything, right? It will literally change the whole aspect of all of those things at the same time as a modulation source. And it's so cool to play with because it's kind of like side chaining on steroids, right? Because you think Clouds is basically a reverby / delay kind of on steroids type effects thing, and it's digital. And so being able to sort of feed it an audio source that modulates it is cool. And so you can feed it drum beats, which is kind of expected, but it does these bouncy things when the beats kick in, and then it goes back and behaves kind of normal to where you've set it. So there's some cool things you can do with it, and sample and holes are great to chuck in there, of course. So yeah. Anyway, that's kind of where I wanted to go to with this. I know it's kind of there's a lot of people that watch my channel and they kind of aren't into Eurorack. You don't need Eurorack to do most of this stuff, I don't think. You could definitely achieve most of those effects with guitar pedals and synths that have got those effects built in. So it's not. You could probably even do it in your computer too. And obviously, it's not going to be pure analog.
Well, I've got the Bebo, so I could probably do a lot of that on the Bebo as well. It's just not as nice to actually program in.
Oh yeah. And that's amazing.
Bebo?
Yeah. Do you remember we had him on the show? Polyeffects guy.
Yeah.
What was his name again?
Loki Davidson.
Yeah, Loki.
Oh,
so
yes.
it's like the little box that's actually all of the different modules in a box.
I remember that. And you're pulling them around on the you're chucking it about, this one, and then you squirt it into your yes, I remember that now.
Yep. Right.
Old age.
I'm terrible with this sort of stuff as well. We got 888 Berg in the show. I haven't seen him for ages. I didn't even see that. He just popped in there like that.
Yeah, he snuck in there. It's good to see him back. Hi, 888. Good to have you.
Now he's been talking to me briefly, and it's good to see what he's been up to. So it's nice to have him on the show. Yeah, absolutely. Craft work in the back pocket. Nothing wrong with that. I agree. We could do a bit of Trans Euro Express a bit later on, if you like, or a bit of Kling Klang.
Well, we could jam that now.
Yeah, Autobahn.
You see your thing go with a bit of phase on it. Perfect. Get your module out, right? And I'll go.
Spent $3,000 on Eurorack.
Genius. Absolutely. Yeah.
Still cheaper than what they spent on gear.
Well, exactly. You could do it on the MS1 runs. MS101. Sorry, yours is an MS101, isn't it? I forgot about that.
Mine is an MS101, yes. Mine's the real deal. Now, anyone who's got an MS1, they're just not living. Take it back. Throw it at your screen. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though
You've got to
it's
treasure that one because
actually the same.
they will be the only ones. They'll be the only ones that go up in value. Really, the rest will just go. Oh, another MS1. All right, okay. But that one, because it says 101 on it, you've got a rare one.
But all the people are going out there right now and getting their white Tipex or liquid paper or whatever you want to call
Transfers on
it. 01.
Doing little dots.
And then putting it up on eBay going, rare. I mean, we've seen it a million times, right? Rare MS1 edition. Not many around. One owner, little old lady. No.
You need to have low serial numbers, isn't that the key to having a really expensive synth?
I've never cared about that, honestly. I mean, yeah, I know what you're saying. I saw this guy who was talking in, I don't know who he is. He was talking in one of the Facebook groups the other day, and he's going, "Oh, I've got the second serial number of blah 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 synth," and everyone's going, "Oh wow, how cool is that?" And this guy replied and goes, "Mine still sounds the same as yours." Oh, it was great.
Especially if it's digital.
Yeah, my VST sounds the same. Talk about getting his back up. Inky is not on the show 888 Berg today, but she's in the chat room.
She was. She's had to go.
I've got to take the cake out. Just give me a sec. I'm going to go to Andy. You're going to talk about where she's gone. Just give me a sec. I'm going to take the cake out of the room.
She's just left the building. Inky has left the building. I think she had some family. Right, what am I going to talk about now? Thanks, Rans. While you're going to take the the cake back to the fridge. Fridge cam, that's what we need now. Right. Yes, this is lovely.
You should have stopped the camera too, and we could have watched it walk to the fridge.
That's it. We could have cake cam.
Yeah, how long would it have had to sit there until it had walked to the fridge? I don't know. So,
Oh, look at that.
God, come on. Ja. In German, please. Soll ich das auf Deutsch sagen? Ich kann es auf Deutsch sagen, wenn du willst, 888 Berg. Aber warum soll ich das auf Deutsch machen? Ich meine, ich denke, dass die meisten Leute hier sprechen Englisch, oder? Ja. Ich denke, das wäre sehr egoistisch, Deutsch zu sprechen.
We should do subtitles. We should do subtitles.
I was just saying it'd be very selfish if I did it all in German. Although, if Native VS was here, he'd be all right. Robert would understand me.
I reckon it's awesome. I love the German, the German language. I think it's brilliant. I had my sister did it at school, and I remember being jealous.
You need a polo neck now. Yeah, thanks, Magu.
I remember being jealous because she got to learn German, and they didn't do it at my school, and they did it at hers. I was just, I ended up doing nothing wrong with French, but I did French instead, and quite proud of what I learned back in the day. I've forgotten it all now, but back in the day, I used to,
Synthesizer-Gespräch, ist das genau? Sorry, can I make an absolutely sort of a comment here? Sonic Link stuff's air. When I was working in the beautiful town of Barnsley, working in a school there, I realised that there was a word which basically it's a dialect word, and it means I don't understand, therefore you are stupid. And it is what he's just typed. It's
My favorite dialect word is Streichfett, because Waldorf decided to name one of their synthesizers like. And doesn't it?
Streichfett, spreadable fat.
Yeah, it's like sloppy fat.
Strings.
Sloppy fat or something.
No, it's double meaning because Streicher are strings. In an orchestra section, they are the Streicher, they're the strings. So Streichfett. It is clever. It's a very clever name.
Clever name.
Very chickly.
Yeah.
Because all that pink pimping on it makes you think, well, cheesy 70s something or other.
Mm. And everyone that owns it that have got no idea about German or the history of that sort of stuff would just be like, oh, that's a weird name. they wouldn't have a clue, right?
It's not. It's a really clever name. It's a really good name. Yeah,
It
yeah.
is, yeah.
But most people go, stupid name that is.
Probably my favoritely named synth. So there you go. That could be a good topic for a show. What's your favorite named synth? Lots of Jupiters, I guess, would be coming out.
Sonic Link wants to know what our most expensive bit of kit is.
He did say that, didn't he? What's my most expensive bit of kit? Probably be close to... When it came out, would probably be the Korg M3 for me, because they were like nearly $4,000 Australian when they came out at first. So yeah, that would probably be my most expensive purchase.
I think, other than the fact that I've just started up how much it's cost for all the Euro rack stuff and went, oh dear. The biggest single outlay was for me the Supernova when it came out, or the EMU ESI 4000 when that came out. That was just short of $1,000. I've never gone out and spent stupid money on anything because I've never had it.
When you think about it, like if I was to say the System 500 would probably be more expensive than what the M3 was if you were to look at it as a total purchase.
Yeah, each bit.
But I bought each module month after month after month, like slow. And I got a lot of them secondhand as well. So I wouldn't classify it as a single purchase. So what about you, Darren?
I'm just trying to think. Like you say, if you're not going off, if it's a single purchase, then it wouldn't be a modular. But I'd say my modular is probably the most expensive thing, even though it's not actually particularly that big. But like you've discovered that when you start adding up the price of each module and then realise how many you've got in your case, and then the case as well, you start going, that's a lot of money.
Hell yeah.
And it depends on whether you're classing as like the Juno, what it's worth now, or what I paid for it is different. So it'd either be the computer or probably the
computer's
mixing
a good
desk.
one. Computer's a good one.
As a new, as a one single payment outlay, which is new as I've bought it, because like I said, the Juno's worth quite a bit now, but I didn't pay what it's worth now for it, so I can't really class that. And like I said, the modular is a multitude of modules that all add up to a big price.
So it's probably your computer.
So, that's probably what I'd say, computer or the mixing desk.
Yeah, your mixing
if you
desk.
don't want to be anything like computer, if you want it actual.
Okay.
That's the newest one single big purchase. Yeah.
And Andrew, what about you?
The biggest purchase I ever did was, I think, in early 2000s. I bought a Digi 002 at $5,000, and it was the biggest waste of money I ever spent. It never one hit.
Oh, no.
I never bought anything that much ever again. I don't think. I got very, and I think now it's quite disheartening when you see them for like $150. On and people can't sell them. So I learned a few lessons out of it.
That's just a good tax.
Learned a few lessons.
That's a good tax claim, though, isn't it? Depreciation.
No, it wasn't at the time. I bought that as a enthusiast.
Oh,
and,
no.
Yeah, I know.
Just don't tell them, Andrew. Don't tell them.
Yeah.
You don't tell them when you
back
bought
then
it.
Yeah, but back then I wasn't that smart, really. I mean, nowadays it's good.
What, you're saying you're smart now?
Well, I hope so. Smarter, perhaps.
Wiser, maybe.
Wiser.
That was a good question. Yeah. All right. Well, I think we could probably start wrapping up the show. I've been doing it for about 2 hours and 15 minutes according to YouTube's. We still had people hanging around, which is always heartwarming and nice.
Usual gang.
Beautiful. So a big thank you for everyone putting up with the rubbish coming from my synths today, but absolutely not rubbish coming from the beautiful guests that we've got here. And once again, happy birthday for tomorrow for Darren. And good luck, Andrew, on your late night stream in your neck of the woods. Hope you don't fall asleep. And
that'll be fun.
Yeah.
Andy, should be fine. Be good.
Thanks for holding the fort while I was driving the car back from the footy and keeping everyone on board.
Ramsey will be here in 15 minutes. Don't go away. Please stay where you are. Don't run off.
It was crazy. Oh dear. It was good. It was kind of. I knew that you guys would be there, so I just thought, yeah, I've just got to just get there safely. No speeding, no stupidness, and here we are. And we can all look back and think it was all just a storm in a teacup in the end, can't we?
Did you see how slickly Ramsey passed the blame on to us? Then that was proper management slick. That was.
Well, yeah.
Delegation.
It was good, wasn't it? All right. Well, on that note, on that terrible last note, as they used to say in Top Gear, that terrible disappointment. We shall end the show. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching. We'll see you all next week.
All right.
Goodbye.
Take care, folks.
Catch you later.
Bye.
It always pauses there.